All right, we're ready to go. Sorry for the wait.
Is Norma calling in on the other one, just to let you know? She should be.
Oh, there she is. Yep, I see her.
Okay. I didn't get a record prompt, by the way. Like it says recording in progress and we have to press OK.
I got it.
You got it?
I got it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay.
Maybe it's somewhere on your computer and it has it. You don't see it yet.
I think there's a big old thing. Nothing happens until I press OK. All right. Well, I will call to order the special meeting of the Reclamation District 900, October 26th, 2022 meeting. And we have Trustee Orozco absent today. And pursuant to Government Code Section 54953 as amended by Assembly Bill 361, 2021, and due to the state of emergency declared by the governor on March 4th, 2020, members of the Reclamation District 900 Board of Trustees and staff participate in this meeting by a teleconference. To reduce the spread of COVID-19, members of the public may watch the live stream online. And I will now move to the General Administration Part 1. Any presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda within the jurisdiction of the district? The agency is prohibited by law from discussing issues not on the agenda brought to them at this time. Mr. General Manager, any request to speak from the public? I think it's delayed on your end.
There are no requests from the public to speak.
All right, we have no items under the consent agenda. We'll go to the irregular agenda, Part 3, consideration of awarding a construction contract between Reclamation District 900 and the lowest bidder, Dragon Demolition. And there'll be a board discussion with Thomas Carpenter, owner of Dragon Demolition, and apparent low bidder regarding bidder responsibility under the PUB Contract Code 1103 and applicable law. And at this time, Mr. Carpenter, first of all, I hand it over to our general manager to give us a little bit of some background. And I believe we have a memo also included for some background.
Okay.
Sure. President Guerrero, Mr. Carpenter, owner of Dragon Demolition, was the apparent low bidder. Provided us his bid. There were 3 total bids. He was the low bidder. He provided all the necessary signed contractual documents, bidder's bond, and so forth with the package. So he provided the necessary information. During the investigation or checking on contractor's license, making sure he was registered with the Department of Industrial Relations, etc. There were a few items that popped up on his record in the past that we felt that it was necessary to provide that information to the board, which is provided in the memo that you received yesterday. Mr. Carpenter also received this particular memo. If you would like me to run through some of the items, or President Guerrero, if you would like to run through them.
I think under responsible bidder, Mr. General Manager, is
How
the
would
area.
you like to proceed with the memo?
Mr. General Manager, I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but I'm speaking, and then I think it's a delayed on your end.
Yeah, I've got a bad connection, unfortunately, so I think it's impacting all of us. So I'm here at the office, not at my house, and this is the first time I've done this at the office, so I think we have a delay here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to help you with that.
Hey, Madam Mayor, can I interrupt for just a moment, just for clarification?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you mentioned that a memo, or Blake mentioned a memo came out yesterday. I saw one today, and unfortunately I was away on business this week, but did one come yesterday? I may have missed it.
Yes, it was part of the meeting invite with
thank you.
The board agenda. There was the two items attached to the meeting invite.
Okay, thank you. I'm pulling those up now.
Sure.
And in that memo, I'll go ahead, Mr. General Manager, and describe some of the, excuse me, some of the issues that were brought to our attention. And one is the issue before the board is the question of a responsible bidder, defined by statute and means a bidder who has demonstrated the attribute of trustworthiness as well as quality, fitness, capacity, and experience to satisfactorily perform the public works contract. And there is a Supreme Court citation referenced, and then there is the background of Dragon Demolition, of the contractor's license and the history around the contractor, which he currently is active, and bears a reissue date of 2014. And there is public records regarding the license number 763-896. And according to the California State Licensing Board website, Mr. Dragon's license was revoked in 2011, and there was a complaint citation number. And the details include misrepresented facts on application and conviction of a substantially related crime. And that was 2011. In 2015, there was a record of citation in case 2 in 2015, 1038 dated September 11, 2015, under the Business and Profession Code, conviction of substantially related crime. And there is no further information or details about the 2011 or 2015 cases available to the licensing board website. And then there is a publicly available report concerning license revocation. According to the Chico Enterprise Record News report from 2011, explained further that there was, in July 2008, Mr. pleaded no contest to 3 misdemeanor counts of violating the water code, dumping 3,200 tons of concrete, piping material, and other debris into the Sacramento River in November 2006. And most of the material was dumped on his property near the river south of Highway 32, adjacent to the Sacramento River National Wildlife Refuge. There is additional information under the publicly available report that cites what happened when Mr. Carpenter appeared in the Butte County Superior Court again in March 29th for sentencing after pleading no contest to charges from March 2009, attempting to bury plastic drums containing hydraulic and transmission fluid on his property during the cleanup process. And they also found assault weapons and a mountain lion, which Mr. Carpenter didn't have permission to possess in California. And so there was time that that could be paid, and then it was it was narrowed down to probation, and so and a fine, and that is just a quick overview for those I think who haven't had a chance to review it. And these are the questions that we'd like to present to Mr. Carpenter about the history of his actions as it relates to being a responsible bidder on this project that we are considering for approval. And I would like to open it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Mr. Nevis.
Yes, I'd like to also indicate for the record that today you were provided with an email from Mr. Carpenter's email address, dragondemolition@yahoo.com, giving further background about his performance and something about his position about where this, how this all came about, and also providing documents related to other projects he's done, his insurance, his license. But what's important tonight is this is about responsibility and getting clarification about the past convictions, what those stemmed from, and what's happened since, including whether or not Dragon Demolition or Mr. Carpenter have been prevented from contracting on a public contract due to a lack of responsibility despite being the lowest bidder. So with that background and those two items in the record, it would be appropriate at this point to hear from Mr. Carpenter.
Okay, thank you. And just for the record, I want to clarify that Trustee Orozco has just joined us. He's not. And at this time, just to our Counselor, do we open it up to Mr. Carpenter to speak and then we can bring it back?
It would be appropriate for Mr. Carpenter to speak, and then if you all would like to ask questions of him following that, that would be appropriate.
Okay, thank you. And I just
Okay.
wanted to explain to Trustee Orozco, I read from a memo that we received in our packet of information explaining why we are here today for Trustee Orozco. And I'll open it up to Mr. Carpenter to respond. Thank you.
Well, I'll go ahead and respond to what you brought up and what you're just wanting to know. This was 15 years ago, and the information that you're digging up is incorrect. You're hearing it from a News and Review article, which is very biased. It is incorrect. So without going into a long 10-hour conversation regarding this, the violations were handled through an attorney, through a long 10-year court battle. It did not have to do with anything regarding construction of my business. It was my personal property. Since I was a sole prop, they decided to come after me for that. I am still a sole prop. So it had to do with a particular piece of property that I owned. So it did not have to do with any construction projects. I've never failed on one. As to show that you can look at my records, and I will send them to you. I believe you already have them. I have posted a disciplinary bond. It's one of the largest in the state of California, for 10 years without even getting a speeding ticket. So there has been no violations. I have completed lots and lots of public works projects. And this, to be honest with you, is the very first time I've ever had this ever brought up, especially on multi-million-dollar projects. This is basically the smallest public works project I've done in 10 years. This is a very simple project. It is something where you're looking for a leak investigation. I've spent years digging around levees, irrigation districts, and there shouldn't be any problem. I have the proper insurance, certificates, bonds, and I think that this is irrelevant after 15 years and 10 years of having a disciplinary bond. It is behind me, and I don't think it should be something that needs to be brought up. So my opinion is the past, without getting it and going into a long story, is that those particular violations, agreed upon or disagree upon, they were in the past, and it's been over a decade. So if you want to have one of the best contractors, somebody that has the right equipment, the right tools, the right knowledge, the right insurance, the right bonds, and hasn't had any problem and not even a speeding ticket in 10 years, you're talking to the right guy. So I'm here to help you, and it's basically up to you guys if you want to use me. I understand your concern, but I really think that we're digging down a hole that is irrelevant. So if you guys got any questions, you're free to ask. I'll do what I can to answer them. Not to say that I'm going to go into great detail about them, but it was really about my personal property, and it got drug out into where they wanted, without going into sounding, it was next to a refuge, which is the adjacent property. And I dumped concrete on my property to crush it. I have concrete crushers to make gravel. According to, and I had from the county of Butte, they said you can dump concrete on your property. I did not dump it in the river. It was on my property. He said, you own it, you can do it. You're in a A1 floodplain. You can crush the concrete and reuse it. And that was through the check as I went to the county. Although the county said go ahead and do it, Fish and Game has their own laws. So I was unaware that you cannot dump concrete on your personal property. So that became into a long, drawn out argument. So if you have any questions, you're free to ask.
All right, thank you, Mr. Carpenter. If that concludes your remarks, I will bring it back to the trustees, and just want to say thank you for attending today's special meeting on our request.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
we really would like to, we do vet our contractors, want to make sure, we have a project that is along the levee, and want to make sure these things are, taken a look at more closely. And so there was among all the trustees to take a look at this.
Absolutely. And I don't have any problem with, asking questions to a contractor and saying, hey, are you capable of handling this project? Is this, sure, I understand it, but it's such a small project. I think that, we're kind of going down the wrong path here. I'm the right guy. You can look from 784. I just did a project there for Patrick with Kyle M&H. So I've been doing lots for irrigation districts. Although this will be the first project I would like to do for you guys, and hopefully I will. And I'll wind up doing a good job, and I hope to work with you guys in the future.
Thank you. Are there any questions from among our trustees?
I have one.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. First off, thank you, sir, for your presentation and making yourself available to our body. I know it's been referenced as a small project. However, we're also a small body that oversees a relatively limited area. And when it comes down to ensuring the integrity of every project we do, it does come to the utmost importance to this group, regardless of the monetary investment, specifically when it comes
Absolutely.
to, the contractors we work with. So no disrespect to you, sir. This has been something we have done in the past, and it's just a practice to ensure the integrity of our process. My question was,
great.
Thank you. My question is, with respect to, I understand that you presented that it was not a county violation, but Fish and Game had a different rules. Did it result in a violation of Fish and Game law? And if so, what was the ultimate consequence and penalty, if any?
Did it result into I'll say this, it resulted in a misdemeanor violation that was dealt with in a small fine.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I know that you've represented that, we're digging down a hole that you perceive to be irrelevant. It's, again, even though we're a small body, we definitely take every project very seriously. And again, that's not a remark against your integrity, sir. Just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can and the best of our abilities to ensure the integrity of the process we're investing in. So thank you so much. That's all I have.
Yeah.
Are there any questions among the trustees?
If you guys also, just something that you'll see about my integrity and understand about me as a person. If you look at my certifications that I have and the licenses that I hold more licenses, some of the most strict licenses in the state of California. So I have the C12A engineering, C21, okay, asbestos and hazardous waste removal. So I also have asbestos 40-hour classes, have lots of certifications. I continually go to classes, continually stay up to date on all things that I need to be up to on today's laws and processes with workman's comp to everything. I've never had somebody ever get injured. That's worked for me. So I hold a very, very high standard. So I take great pride in my work, and I also love what I do. That's the reason why I continue on, and I enjoy doing this type of work, and I'm very efficient at it.
Thank you for that additional background. I appreciate it. All right, I'll bring it back to, if you don't have any other questions or comments, bring it back our general manager on this project. I think we need to go to a closed session.
I'd like to add one more thing, and then you guys can go on. But I want you guys to really understand that, hey, I'm here to do a good job for you, and I know I will. And I want to work with you guys in the future. You guys are free to call some references, talk to M&H, talk to Patrick over at 784. Those are recent jobs that I just completed. And he'll also tell you I did a lot of extra work, twice the amount that I should have on the last project at no cost. So I want you to understand that you guys are free to talk to those people and they will explain it. But I hope and you guys will allow me to do this project for you, and hopefully I can work with you guys in the future.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Carpenter. And
You bet.
I'll need a motion to go into closed session.
I'll move.
I'll second.
All right, Mr. General Manager, Trustee Orozco moved and Trustee Ledesma seconded. Can you please call the roll to go into closed session?
Guys, have a
Trustee
good
Roscoe?
evening.
Oh,
Aye.
Trustee Alcala?
Aye.
Trustee Ledesma?
Aye.
Trustee Early?
Aye.
President Guerrero?
aye. All right, we have another link for closed session.
Yes, please, everybody, review the second meeting invite. It's got the link for the second, and unfortunately with my system running slow, it might take a few minutes to log in. So please bear with me. Mr. Carpenter, I think you can stay online. Well, we'll see what happens. It could hang up on you. I'm not 100% sure if we lose this link here.
Mr. General Counsel, do you have any thing to say?
Yes. How about this? We need to come back into open session after our closed session.
Yes.
Whether this closes or not, we'll come back to this link, and the general manager will call Mr. Carpenter and let him know to rejoin so that we can report out and
Okay.
take any action.
All right, thank you so much. All
So
right.
you can safely hang up, Mr. Carpenter. We'll notify you when to come back on.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.